Hey guys, Mike here. In this video, I'm going to explain one single thing you can do to become a god at whatever game you want to be a god at. And it is one single thing that you can do, and it applies to any type of game. It ranges from action games to action RPGs to turn-based games. Doesn't matter. It applies to every single game. And the one thing you should do is just record yourself playing. And I don't mean necessarily recording your face or you playing. Just record your gameplay. So what some people will do, and this doesn't really work, is that to try to get better at a game, they'll watch good players at the game play the game and try to copy or emulate what they're doing. And there's one major reason why that doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because it's extremely inefficient and it's not relevant contextually to you, right? Because the player that you're trying to copy probably on a different skill level, so there's just a natural disconnect between your skill and their skill. So nothing is going to register. Like anything you try to copy and emulate, it's just not going to register. And even if it does, it's not going to be a very efficient registration, right? It's just going to be extremely inefficient for you to get better. You're just not going to get better in a timely manner. So that leaves the reason why you have to record your own gameplay and you have to watch your own gameplay. And the reason why it works is because you'd be surprised about how much stuff you remember. Like if you recorded for say 3 hours, you would actually remember every single thing that happened in those 3 hours if it was played back to you on video. Right? So because you can remember all of those tiny micro events that happened during that gameplay session, the context is there, and it allows you to iterate and notice certain things that will allow you to get better. And that stuff is just not applicable when you watch someone else's gameplay, because you don't have that muscle memory, you don't have the sound memory, you don't have the visual memory, you don't have the twitch memory, the muscle twitch memory. So that's why watching your own gameplay is the way to do it. Some people might say, oh, well, I can't do that. Like, I just don't know how to do it, or I don't have the tools to do it. And I would say that's not really an excuse, because OBS is free. It's free software. Anyone can use it. You don't need the strongest computer to use it. Anybody and their grandma who knows how to research YouTube and research Google can figure out how to install OBS and just do a very basic, low quality recording, that doesn't take up too much CPU. So anybody can do that, especially if you're a Zoomer or a millennial. I bet even boomers, if they really wanted to, they could figure out how to do it. So that's really no excuse. So the next thing I want to talk about is what you actually should do when you're watching yourself play. So you're trying to keep an eye out for a few things. The first thing is the easy one. It's the good things that you do, right? It's like when you see something happens on screen, you're like, damn, that was really good that I did that. And it's just positive reinforcement to remind you, like, hey, I should keep doing that type of thing. That's an easy one, right? The next thing you should look out for is just key things that a really good player at the game should be doing that you didn't do. For example, like in an action game, you should never be getting hit, like ever. So anytime you get hit by an enemy, you should always be pausing and rewinding and asking yourself, why did I get hit here? Don't blame RNG, don't blame unlucky. There's always a reason why you got hit, especially in action games. So you always ask yourself, why did I get hit, and what can I do differently to not have that happen again? And the nice thing about watching like long sessions of yourself playing is you can see the frequency with those errors, right? So if I keep getting hit by a certain move or a certain act, then that tells me, like, hey, I really need to figure out how to not do this, because it's really multiplicatively, it's just like it's adding up when I keep getting hit by that single move that the enemies do, right? So you're just keeping an eye out with things that that need to change, right? And you're trying to figure out how to change. And if you don't immediately know how to change it or how to fix that issue, then you just make a note for later. Like, either a mental note, probably a written note is better, but just a note of, okay, hey, I need to fix this problem and I don't have a solution right now. And you should always like write down the problems that you have and just potential solutions, or if I don't have a solution, just then you have to make a note that, hey, I need to come up with a solution to this issue. That's the next thing you're looking for, problems. The last thing you're doing is, and this is the very last thing, is taking information from other players and better players and comparing it to what you're doing. So this is what people do too much of. It's they look at better players' gameplay and they're always trying to emulate that. And like I said at the beginning of the video, you don't want to do that. You want to look at your gameplay first, right? But once you have a general idea of like things that you're improving upon with your own context, then that's when you start to introduce, okay, hey, then I can start looking at other people's videos and comparing it. But then you're always comparing it to your gameplay. Like, what did he do in this situation that I didn't do, right? What is the different thing that he did that I should be doing? And then it always has to come back to your gameplay. That's why it's so important to record your own gameplay. You can't, this can never happen if you don't record your own gameplay and watch your own gameplay. In fact, this point is, you can actually get away with not doing it. You can always keep watching your own gameplay and get better that way. So anyways, it is one simple thing. Like I did say, it is one simple thing, just recording yourself playing and rewatching it and critiquing your own gameplay and having a sense of self-awareness and why you're not good yet, and always trying to make actionable changes on how to get better. But I know a lot of people, they won't do that, and they'll never get good at games. And this is I found this is the most efficient way to get really, really good at games in a very fast amount of time. And no one wants to do it because they're too lazy. So, and the thing is, it actually doesn't take that much effort. Like I said, you can OBS is so easy to download and install. You just hit record. You don't need a super high quality recording. You already stream on Twitch, and you have access to VODs. You can just rewatch your VODs or just rewatch why you did shitty things. So anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. This is the one single thing that you can do to become a god at any game, no matter what it is. Like I said, action games, action RPGs, turn-based games, strategy games, especially strategy games. Strategy games, you literally can just watch every turn, and you can say, okay, I could have done this on this turn for this strategy game, or I could have done this, or these are the different things I could have done, and it probably could have played out differently in this way, and it probably would have been better if I did it this way. In fact, that's the really good way to get good at strategy games. So anyways, this is just, you just do this one thing and it applies to all games, and no one's going to do it. The funny thing is, no one is going to follow this advice, and you're just going to be mediocre at games, and it's going to be pretty funny. So sorry if I sound like an asshole. I just like when I started doing this, I was just like, the amount of time it takes me to like get to an average level and then a really good level at games, like games that I want to get good at, it's surprising how fast it allows me to get that skilled at a game. So anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.